Hello, everyone, and welcome to our presentation on key skills for SAT reading, writing, and grammar, a guide to what's tested on the SAT. Today, I'm excited to walk you through the essential skills you need to master for success on the SAT.
Let's begin by looking at the SAT reading and writing section, particularly in its new digital format. The digital SAT now combines reading and writing into one section with adaptive difficulty. This means the test adjusts the difficulty of questions as you progress, ensuring a personalized challenge. You can expect several types of questions. As short reading passages, these include comprehension and analysis questions. Vocabulary and context. Here, you'll need to infer the meanings of words based on their use in the text. Grammar, punctuation, and sentence structure. These questions assess your understanding of how sentences are formed and the rules that govern them. Rhetorical skills, focused on organization, transitions, and conciseness. The reading and writing section is scored between 200 and 800, so every detail you master can make a big difference.
Next, let's take a brief look at the overall SAT format. The test is divided into several sections: reading, writing, math. Today, our focus is on reading comprehension, grammar, and writing skills, areas that are crucial not only for the SAT, but also for demonstrating college readiness. Understanding these sections will give you a clear roadmap of what to expect on test day.
Now we dive into the specific skills that are tested in the SAT reading section. The key skills include main idea and theme identification, vocabulary and context, inference making, analyzing text features, tone and style interpretation. Mastering these skills will help you better understand and analyze the passages, making you a more confident and effective reader.
Let's start with main idea and theme identification. This skill involves understanding the primary message or central idea of a passage. To do this effectively, you should determine the overall theme or purpose of the text. Identify key supporting details that relate to that theme. Pay close attention to the introduction and conclusion, as they often offer clues about the main idea. For example, you might encounter a question like, what is the primary theme of the passage? Your task is to choose the answer that best captures the overall message the author is conveying.
Moving on to vocabulary and context. This skill is about understanding the meaning of words as they're used in the passage. Instead of memorizing definitions in isolation, you'll learn to use context clues by examining surrounding words and phrases, considering the overall tone and mood of the passage, noticing how word choices contribute to the meaning. For instance, if you see a question such as, what does the word elevated most likely mean in the context of the passage, you'll need to look at how the word is used within the text to determine its meaning.
Now, let's talk about inference making. This skill involves drawing conclusions based on evidence in the text, even when these conclusions aren't explicitly stated. Essentially, it's about reading between the lines. To do this well, you should make logical assumptions based on information that's implied. Consider the author's perspective and any potential bias. Use clear evidence from the text to back up your inferences. For example, imagine a question that asks, what can be inferred about the character's feelings toward the situation? Your job will be to look for subtle clues within the text, perhaps hints of tone or descriptive language that suggests how the character really feels, even if it isn't directly stated.
Next, we have analyzing text features. This skill is all about understanding how various parts of a text contribute to its overall meaning. When you analyze text features, you should identify the role of headings, subheadings, and visuals within the passage. Recognize the overall structure of the text and how it organizes information. Analyze how these text features impact your understanding of the content. For instance, consider a question like, how does the inclusion of a chart in paragraph 3 affect the meaning of the passage? In this case, you'd examine how the visual element, such as the chart, supports or clarifies the main points, helping you grasp the author's intended message more fully.
Moving on to tone and style interpretation. This skill focuses on deciphering the author's attitude and writing style. Key points to keep in mind include identifying the tone of the passage. Is it formal, informal, sarcastic, or serious? Recognizing how the author's choice of words helps convey mood or perspective. analyzing how the tone influences the reader's perception of the content. For example, you might see a question like, what is the author's tone in the passage? Here, you'll need to determine the mood or feeling created by the author's word choices and overall style. This helps you understand not just what is being said, but how it's being communicated.
Let's shift our focus to the SAT writing section. There are several key skills that are critical for success, including sentence structure and clarity, a grammar and usage like subject-verb agreement and pronoun consistency, organization and cohesion, ensuring a logical flow of ideas, word choice and precision, punctuation and sentence fragments. These components work together to ensure that your writing is clear, coherent, and grammatically sound.
Finally, let's delve into sentence structure and clarity. This skill is all about making sure that every sentence you write is clear, concise, and well-constructed. To achieve this, you need to avoid run-on sentences and sentence fragments. Ensure proper subject-verb agreement throughout. Construct sentences that are logically organized and easy for the reader to understand. For example, you might encounter questions such as, which sentence below is the clearest and most grammatically correct? In this situation, your task is to identify the sentence that communicates its message efficiently and without awkward phrasing.
The next section is grammar and usage. This section focuses on the proper use of grammar and sentence components. To excel here, you'll need to master several key areas. Use the correct tenses, prepositions, articles, and conjunctions. Apply proper punctuation, including commas, semicolons, and colons. Ensure subject-verb agreement, and maintain consistency in pronoun usage. For example, you might encounter a question like, which sentence is grammatically correct? In such cases, you're expected to spot errors related to subject-verb agreement, punctuation, or pronoun usage. Mastering these skills will ensure your writing is both clear and professional.
Next, let's discuss organization and cohesion. This skill is about creating a logical flow and clear connection between ideas. Key points to focus on include using appropriate transition words and phrases to link sentences and paragraphs, ensuring that the passage follows a clear, logical sequence, crafting effective introductory and concluding sentences. For instance, you might see a question such as, which of the following revisions improves the flow of the paragraph? Your goal is to choose the option that best enhances the logical progression of ideas throughout the text.
Moving on, we have word choice and precision. This skill is all about selecting words that accurately convey your intended meaning. To do this effectively, you should avoid vague or overly complex words that could confuse the reader. Use specific, clear language to express your ideas. Ensure that your word choice is in line with the overall tone of the passage. For example, consider a question like, which word would best replace helpful in the sentence to make it more precise? Here, you'll need to pick a word that not only fits the context but also communicates the idea more clearly and effectively.
Finally, let's cover punctuation and sentence fragments. This area is crucial for making sure your writing is not only grammatically correct but also easy to read. Focus on correctly placing commas, semicolons, periods, and other punctuation marks, identifying and fixing sentence fragments, recognizing when a sentence is incomplete, and revising it to form a complete thought. For instance, a sample question might be, which sentence is correctly punctuated? In answering, you look for any misplaced commas, missing punctuation, or incomplete sentences, ensuring that the option you selected adheres to standard punctuation rules.
Now, let's dive into SAT grammar, a critical area that tests how well you understand the rules of English. In this section, you'll work on a variety of skills that ensure your sentences are clear and effective. We're going to look at a few key areas: subject-verb agreement, pronoun usage, modifier placement, parallel structure, and we'll also touch on avoiding sentence fragments and run-ons. Each of these components is essential for making sure your writing is both grammatically correct and easy to understand.
Let's start with subject-verb agreement. This concept is all about ensuring that the subject of the sentence and its verb are in harmony. Meaning, if the subject is singular, the verb should be singular, and if the subject is plural, the verb should match accordingly. In more complex sentences, it can be tricky to identify which noun the verb is truly referring to. Imagine a sentence like, The bouquet of roses smells lovely. Even though roses is plural, the true subject is bouquet, which is singular. So the verb smells is correctly singular. On the SAT, you might see questions asking you to pick the sentence where the subject and verb agree correctly. So practicing the skill is crucial.
Next up is pronoun usage and agreement. This skill is all about making sure that every pronoun in your sentence clearly refers back to the correct noun, its antecedent, and matches it in number and gender. A common mistake is when a pronoun is vague or ambiguous, leaving the reader wondering exactly who or what is being referred to. For instance, if a sentence says, Alex told Jordan that they would help, it's unclear who they refers to. On the SAT, you might be asked to identify which sentence uses pronouns correctly, so it's important to always check that your pronouns are clear, consistent, and in the right form for their role in the sentence.
Moving on to modifier placement. Modifiers are words or phrases, like adjectives and adverbs, that provide additional detail. The key here is to place them as close as possible to the word they're meant to describe. If a modifier is misplaced, it can create confusion or even change the meaning of a sentence. For example, in the sentence, walking to park, the flowers look beautiful. It's unclear whether it was the flowers or the person walking that looked beautiful. Correct placement helps ensure that your intended meaning is crystal clear. On the SAT, you'll need to spot errors where modifiers have been incorrectly placed or are dangling without a clear target.
Lastly, let's talk about parallel structure. This concept requires that elements in a sentence, especially in lists or comparisons, follow the same grammatical pattern. Think of it like creating a rhythm in your writing. When ideas are presented in a consistent format, the sentence flows smoothly and is easier for the reader to follow. For example, if you start a sentence with she likes hiking, swimming, and biking, all elements are parallel because they are all in the ing form. On the SAT, you might be asked to choose the sentence that shows proper parallel structure, so it's important to practice keeping your sentences balanced and uniform.
Let's finish our grammar section with sentence fragments and run-ons. Imagine reading a sentence that feels unfinished or overly cluttered. These are common pitfalls that can confuse your reader. A sentence fragment is like a half-finished thought. It doesn't express a complete idea, while a run-on sentence happens when two independent thoughts are jammed together without proper punctuation. On the SAT, you might be asked, which of the following sentences is a run-on and how can be corrected? This requires you to not only spot where the sentence breaks down, but also understand how to revise it, so that each idea stands clearly on its own. Mastering this ensures your writing is both complete and easy to follow.
Now let's shift gears to reading. I'm going to share a sample SAT reading passage along with a question that focuses on skills like identifying the main idea, understanding tone, or drawing inferences. As we walk through the passage, pay attention to how the author builds the argument or narrative. For instance, notice any clues that hint at the central theme or the underlying emotions. Then consider a question such as, what is the primary message of this passage? By breaking down the passage line by line, you'll see how to extract the main idea and support your answer with evidence from the text. This step-by-step approach is crucial for handling SAT reading questions effectively. Sample SAT reading passage. In the late 19th century, cities across the United States underwent rapid industrialization, leading to significant shifts in daily life. Factories emerged as the dominant centers of employment, drawing thousands of workers from rural areas into urban centers. While this period of economic growth brought new opportunities, it also introduced challenges such as overcrowded living conditions, long working hours, and unsafe labor environments. Reformers of the time, including journalists and activists, sought to expose these harsh realities, advocating for better wages, improved housing, and safer workplaces. Their efforts laid the groundwork for early labor laws, which would eventually shape modern workplace protections. Underscore 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 underscore. Question 1. Identifying the main idea. What is the primary message of this passage? A. The expansion of factories in the 19th century led to safer workplaces. B. Industrialization created economic opportunities, but also difficult working and living conditions. C. Urbanization in the 19th century eliminated problems associated with rural life. D. Reformers in the 19th century were unsuccessful in bringing about workplace improvements. Correct answer, B. Explanation. The passage discusses both the benefits, economic growth, job opportunities, and the challenges, overcrowding, unsafe conditions of industrialization. It also highlights how reformers worked to improve these conditions, supporting the idea that industrialization had both positive and negative effects. Underscore, 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 underscore. Question 2. Understanding tone. What is the tone of the passage? A. Neutral and informative. B. Sarcastic and dismissive. C. Optimistic and celebratory. D. Angry and confrontational. Correct answer, A. Explanation. The passage presents factual information about industrialization and reform efforts without strong emotional language. It acknowledges both positive and negative aspects, making the tone neutral and informative rather than emotional or opinionated. Underscore, 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 underscore. Question 3. Drawing inferences. Which of the following can be inferred based on the passage? A. Industrialization directly led to modern labor laws. B. All factory workers in the 19th century eventually moved back to rural areas. C. Reformers faced significant resistance in advocating for change. D. Urbanization immediately improved living standards for all workers. Correct answer, C. Explanation. The passage states that reformers sought to expose these harsh realities and advocated for better wages, improved housing, and safer workplaces. This implies they had to fight against opposition to bring about change, making C the best answer. While industrialization contributed to labor laws, the passage does not state that it directly led to them, ruling out A. Underscore, 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 underscore. Key takeaways for SAT reading. 1. Identify the main idea by looking at how the passage introduces and reinforces its key message. 2. Pay attention to tone by analyzing word choice and the author's attitude toward the topic. 3. Use inference skills to draw logical conclusions from the information given, even if they are not directly stated. By practicing these strategies, you'll improve your ability to tackle SAT reading questions with confidence.
Next up is a look at an example SAT writing question. Here, you'll see a typical sentence correction prompt where one answer choice stands out as the best option because it is grammatically correct and clearly written. As we review the question, I'll explain why the correct answer is superior. Perhaps it resolves a subject-verb disagreement, fixes a misplaced modifier, or improves parallel structure. The goal is to understand not just which option is right, but the reasoning behind it. This understanding will help you approach similar questions on test day with confidence. Sentence correction question. Prompt. Despite the company's efforts to reduce costs, they were unable to improve their bottom line. Which of the following options is the most grammatically correct and clearly written? A. Despite the company's efforts to reduce costs, they were unable to improve their bottom line. B. Despite the company's efforts to reduce costs, it was unable to improve their bottom line. C. Despite the company's efforts to reduce costs, they were unable to improve their bottom line. D. Despite the company's efforts to reduce costs, they was unable to improve their bottom line. Underscore, 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 underscore. Correct answer, B. Despite the company's efforts to reduce costs, it was unable to improve their bottom line. Underscore, 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 underscore. Explanation. Option A is incorrect because it creates a pronoun disagreement. The sentence uses company, which is singular, but the pronoun they is plural. They refers to multiple entities, but in this case, we are talking about a single company. Option B is correct because it resolved the pronoun disagreement by replacing they with it, which correctly refers to the singular noun company. Additionally, is the correct singular form of the verb to match the singular subject company. Option C is incorrect because it uses it were, which is a subject-verb disagreement. It is singular, so the correct verb should be was, not were. Option D is incorrect because they is a subject-verb disagreement. They is plural, but is singular. The correct verb form would be were. Underscore, 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 underscore. Key takeaways for SAT writing. 1. Watch for subject-verb agreement. Singular subjects need singular verbs, and plural subjects need plural verbs. 2. Ensure pronoun agreement. A singular noun, e.g. company, should be paired with singular pronoun, e.g. it, while plural nouns, e.g. teams, should be paired with plural pronouns, e.g. they. 3. Improve clarity by choosing options that resolve awkward phrasing or grammatical errors, like misplaced modifiers or incorrect verb forms. Understanding the reasoning behind each option will help you tackle similar questions with confidence on test day.
Before we wrap up, let's go over some essential test-taking tips for the SAT. Time management is key. Practice pacing yourself so you can confidently tackle every section without rushing. Using the process of elimination is another powerful strategy. If you can rule out obviously wrong answers, you increase your chances of choosing the right one. Engage in active reading by annotating passages and noting key details as you go. And don't forget to review essential grammar rules before test day. These strategies not only help you manage your time, but also boost your overall performance on the exam.
In conclusion, today we've covered a wide range of key skills, from reading comprehension and grammar rules to effective writing strategies and test-taking tips. Remember, mastering these skills requires practice, so I encourage you to take full-length practice tests and explore additional resources for further preparation. With dedication and the right approach, you'll be well on your way to achieving a great score on SAT. Thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.